see.
All right, so we just saw the control system.
So let's dive into ASU1. So this is air supply unit 1. This feeds the main natatorium for splash here. Outside air, so supply air, we got 57.3 degrees. That was the actual temperature probe that you were recording earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It goes through the air dampeners, the pre-filters, which you saw. And then you have your heat coil. Right now, heat recovery. So if you notice, we go from 57.6 to 66.1. We're getting that increase across there. That's because of that heat recovery coil. And then through here, we have our actual heat coil. What's interesting in this is we are not heating. We are. So I actually have a graphic problem here. If you look, this it is reversed because we are gaining 4 degrees on that within there. And then here's the supply air out to the pool deck. I got a problem here. This should be heating. So let's look at this.
So is this how you go find where the problem is, and then you just go to it and then fix the problem, or can you fix it from here, you think?
We'll have to see kind of where it is. So hot water valves at 0, phase temperatures at 100. I want to know why that is, because I get 0, 0, 0s through here. So if outside air temperature is between 32 and 10, so it's higher than that, that's going to produce a 0. This switch will be 0. So when the heating PID comes in here, if heating is in the OK zone, it clicks this switch, which gives me a 0, so that's what's happening. It's basically within the dead band right now. So if you look at the graphic, so see this green section here, that's the dead band, it's within that, so it's basically just passively supplying air to that. Once it drops below this and the hysteresis, then it'll start to heat back up. And it'll heat until it hits.
It'll fall outside of your set parameters, and then it'll take the steps to reheat itself back up to the window temperature that you want.
Yep. So as far as control points, so right here we have outside air temperature, which is driving, in a sense, let's go here. So heat coil. So the supply or desired air temperature is what's driving this heat coil in a sense. So there's a control point. We get a command to run for the fan. That's because it's occupied. So there's another control point. This bypass dampener control is another control point as well. Let's look at the Adult Activity Center main ASU, because it will give you a little better parameter. So the economizer is all because it's so it'll have a desired supply air temp, right? And if you look in here, let's see. So here's the main temperature control. So the initial supply air set point is at 66 degrees. The minimum is 55. Maximum is at 80 degrees. So it starts going in time intervals, how often it's sampling, when it's going on. And basically feeds that. And then it gives us a supply air temp set point, right? So that set point is basically goes into the heating side. That's our set point, 80 degrees. So basically it won't start cooling until it hits above 80 degrees. And then it'll start cooling down. And heating, it won't start heating until it drops below 65 degrees. Now each one of these is, so this is a main air handler, and then from there there's a numerous zones. So you look at the graphic in here, go back into it. All these units are zones basically in here. So I have three that are calling for heat, and then the rest of them are satisfied within there. And so all this information from all these zones basically drive the main ASU to provide a supply air temp that goes out to each one of these zones. So they don't have any cooling capacity within the zones itself. All the cooling capacity is in the main air supply unit. And then it has reheat coils in all the zones and the VAV boxes there.
All right, that's a lot.
Yeah.